Hey guys, it's Akin with the Houseplant Resource Center, and today I'm going to teach you how to propagate a Monstera in less than 5 minutes. The first thing I want to say is that propagating a Monstera is really easy. Don't get intimidated and don't let anybody tell you that it's challenging. My 3-year-old can do it. So one of our favorite things to do is to go outside and cut flowers and put them in a vase. We also go around and we cut pieces of our houseplants and put them in a vase, and she puts them in her room. And if you leave them long enough, they actually go ahead and sprout roots and you can replant them. And so my 3-year-old has successfully propagated a Monstera and a pothos. So don't be intimidated. Propagation is cool because often the propagated plants actually do better than the original plant, because you're taking sort of an older plant and you're putting in a new soil, you're using the fresh, new, younger growth, and you're probably going to pay more attention to it and give it a little bit better care and more love. And as we all know, love is important for houseplants. The more you pay attention to them, the more they will grow and the better they'll do. It's kind of weird, but there's studies that support that. The tools you'll need to get started. So you'll need clean shears or a knife or scissors. We have houseplant pruning scissors, so you can click the link below. They're super sharp. They give you a really great cut without kind of squashing the stem. And so that's what you want, is something sharp and something clean. You want filtered water, or if you have chlorinated water, you want to leave it out overnight so that it doesn't kind of harm your cutting. And then you'll need a rooting hormone. And so we make propagation promoters. So you just drop a few drops of that into the water and it will signal to your plant to produce roots. And then eventually you're going to need a new pot and new soil. We actually make Monstera soil that is the perfect fluffy light mix that Monsteras love. So check that out below. So how long does it take to propagate your Monstera? So it's only going to take you 5 minutes to do the cutting and put it in water, and then it'll take about 3 weeks for it to grow roots. So make sure it's in kind of bright indirect light. If the water gets cloudy, dump it out, change the water, add more rooting hormone, and look for your new roots that are about 1 inch long. You want at least 6 1-inch long roots before you put it in soil. First, you're going to want to take the cutting, and I recommend just taking a bunch of cuttings. You at least need a node on your Monstera, so that's where your leaf meets the stem. So you at least need that for it to produce roots and to create new growth. But just take a bunch of cuttings and put them in, 3 different glass containers. I recommend using clear containers so you can see the roots, you can see when they've actually grown enough to repot them, and you can see whether the water gets cloudy and if it needs to be changed. So take your cutting below, at least 1 inch below the node, and then put them in a bunch of different containers. I recommend at least 3 containers. You could do 1 cutting per container, or if you like the look of, more kind of foliage coming out of the container, you could put in several, and that will give you a better opportunity to get more roots. You want to kind of do a cutting that's in the sweet spot of about, 3 to 6 inches is usually a good opportunity. You don't want to take a cutting too long, or it will be too much for the new root system to support. And if you take a cutting that's too short, you don't have enough leaves to support your root system. So 2 to 3 leaves is fine, or a 3 to 6 inch cutting is fine as well. Make sure that you cut about 1 inch closer to the node so that you don't have too long of that internodal space, which is the area between the nodes. You want it to be about 1 inch as the sweet spot to give you the best chance of success. So what you want to do is get your clear container, put a few drops of the propagation promoter in that, take your cutting, put it in the container, and that's it. Put it in a place with indirect light, wait about 3 weeks, throw away the ones that don't work or that aren't growing any roots, and don't worry about those. You usually will have about a 60% success rate with propagation. And so then once you have the 1 inch roots, then you put it into soil, give it a little more propagation promoter. So you mix about a teaspoon in 1 cup of water, water it with that, keep the soil moist for the first month or 2, and you have a brand new plant. You could gift it to a friend, you could keep it for yourself. It's so much fun, it's easy, it's free. Check it out, share your success with us, and thank you so much for watching.